Welcome to this explainer of risk-vigilant Barrett's fascinating case study. Today, we're going to unpack a scenario that plays out in operations everywhere, but almost never gets caught. We are breaking down exactly how a single storekeeper managed to completely siphon profit margins right through the front register of a major health supplement chain. And the craziest part? He wasn't sneaking boxes out the back door in the dead of night. No, he was doing it in broad daylight, right under the nose of the company's digital inventory system. So how exactly does a simple sticker break an entire retail chain? Let's dive right into this gripping retail blind spot that our research uncovered during a routine mystery shopping audit. Look, in almost any physical operation, the barcode is supposed to be the ultimate source of truth, right? The scanner beeps, the system updates, and everything is perfectly tracked. But what happens when the very people managing that inventory decide to turn the barcode into a weapon? Well, that is exactly what this case study reveals. To truly wrap your head around the scale of the systemic risk at play here, you've got to keep this number in mind: 200. This specific health supplement chain wasn't just a handful of local mom-and-pop shops. It consisted of a massive 200 stores. And when you're running an operation of that size, a single localized vulnerability isn't just some minor glitch. It is literally a blueprint for a massive multi-store revenue leak.
Section 1. Anatomy of the heist. The exploit. Okay, so how did they do it? The entire exploit relied on a very specific operational quirk within this retail chain. You see, the expiry dates of these health supplements were permanently etched right onto the plastic of the bottles at the factory. Now, whenever a batch of these bottles neared that etched expiry date, the corporate system would automatically generate special, highly discounted barcode stickers to quickly clear out the aging inventory. So, sitting there in the store, you had two distinct categories of stock. You had near expiry stock wearing special discount stickers, and you had premium fresh stock with standard full-price barcodes. And this sets the stage for the perfect swap. The mechanism that corrupt storekeeper engineered was honestly shocking in its simplicity. Peel, apply, sell. The employee simply peeled those newly printed discount barcodes off the near expiry stock and slapped them right onto the brand new premium fresh inventory. He'd then sell this fresh premium stock to colluding customers at that heavily discounted rate. And outside of the official system, he'd pocket a nice cash kickback for hooking them up with premium goods at bargain basement prices. But as you know, stealing the margin is only half the crime. The other half is covering it up. To hide his tracks, the storekeeper took the regular, full-price barcodes from the fresh stock and carefully placed them onto the older, expiring bottles. Those bottles were just left to sit on the shelf until they eventually genuinely expired. Once they expired, standard protocol kicked in, dictating that they be boxed up and sent back to the central warehouse for destruction. And this is where the illusion became completely seamless. When those expiring bottles arrived back at the central warehouse, the warehouse manager would scan the barcode to log the return. But because the barcode was swapped, the scanner screen would literally read, "This is a fresh batch." So imagine being the warehouse manager. You look at the screen, then you look down at the physical etching on the bottle that clearly shows the item is expired. What do? Well, they assumed the manufacturer had simply misprinted the barcodes at the factory. The physical etching contradicted the digital system, and the digital system was given the benefit of the doubt as just a weird administrative error. The fraud remained completely invisible.
Section 2. The risk manager's pivot. Treating the system. So when corporate leadership eventually saw our research detailed in the mystery shopping report, their immediate instinct was to fire the guy and call the police. But you might be wondering, why didn't we recommend firing him right away? Well, from a risk management perspective, dropping the hammer immediately is actually a total rookie mistake. Sure, it feels satisfying to catch the bad guy, but it is incredibly short-sighted when you're managing a vast network of physical locations. Think about it statistically for a second. In a 200-store chain, if one employee has successfully discovered and exploited this physical control vulnerability, others have likely already found it, or they're just about to. Firing this one individual is simply treating the symptom, not the disease. If you fire him immediately, you're sending a really loud signal to the rest of the network. The other fraudsters operating in the shadows would just hit pause, adapt their methods, and learn to hide their tracks even better. Which brings us to Section 3, the structural fix. Process engineering. We had to fix the plumbing before we worried about the drip. We needed a solution that didn't just punish one bad actor, but made the crime utterly impossible for anyone else to replicate moving forward. Drawing on the insights from risk-vigilant Barrett's case study, our research engineered two very specific structural controls. The goal was to permanently kill this vulnerability across all 200 locations. And crucially, these controls could not rely on human honesty. They had to be physical and digital absolutes. First up, we implemented a material science defense. We completely tossed out the standard barcode stickers. Instead, we replaced them with tamper-proof, destructible vinyl. This is a brilliant physical barrier. If an employee tries to peel one of these new stickers off a near-expiry bottle to execute a swap, the sticker doesn't come off in one piece. It immediately shreds into tiny, unusable fragments. The physical mechanism of the theft is literally destroyed right there in the fraudster's hands.
Second, we deployed a system-level point-of-sale audit. We had to bridge the gap between the physical reality of the product, that etched expiry date, and the digital reality of the barcode system. So we updated the point-of-sale software. Now, whenever any barcode is scanned at the register, the system forces the receipt to explicitly print out the mapped expiry date for that exact barcode, right there in black and white. This simple software update achieved something absolutely monumental. It turned every single customer into a system auditor. Because the receipt now prints the fresh system date right next to the physically etched near expiration date on the actual bottle, the jig is entirely up. If a rogue employee somehow bypassed those vinyl stickers and attempted to sell a swapped barcode, the customer would instantly see the discrepancy. The receipt claims it's fresh, but the bottle in their hand says it's expiring. No rogue employee could bypass this massive, decentralized checkpoint because the final verification happens right in the hands of a consumer.
Section 4. Eradicating risk. The overarching process. By looking past the individual bad actor and focusing squarely on the overarching process, this massive revenue leak was simultaneously plugged across all 200 stores. This explainer perfectly demonstrates the core philosophy behind risk-vigilant Barrett's case study. True risk management isn't just about catching thieves after the fact. It is about architecting an environment that physically and logically stops them from acting in the first place. It's about building processes so tight that bad behavior becomes mechanically impossible.
As we wrap up this heist breakdown, I want to leave you with a final thought about your own operations. When something goes wrong, when a vulnerability is exposed, what is your first instinct? I really hope this case study inspires you to look deeper into your structural vulnerabilities, to push past that immediate reaction and ask yourself the tough question. Are you just firing the symptom, or are you actually fixing the system?